Welcome to another video, and today I'm going to be solving the level 2 certificate AQA for the further maths paper 1 on calculator for GCSE. Here's question 1, and it's asking us to differentiate this x to the power of 6 over 2 plus x to the power of 4 over 4, and you could write this in a better way: a half of x there plus x fourth and a quarter of that. You bring 6 to the front, you get 3x. You minus 1 to the power, here you get 5. You bring 4 to the front, you get 4 over 4, which is 1, and you get x cubed. So 3x 5 plus x cubed. So question 2 is giving us some information and asking us to work out the values of a and b. Well, so you're going to have to work out the mean of p and r, which is going to be 6 plus minus 12 over 2, which will give you negative 3. This is A, so negative 3. And then B, to get to here, you're going to have to go 6 places. So to get to here, you're going to have to go 6 places again, which means B must be 10, so B is equal to 10. So question 3. So question 3 is a matrix question. All you're going to have to do is you're going to have to times the 2 to the negative 2 and the 4 to the 2, like that. And you're going to work like this for each and every one. So you can have 2, negative 2 plus 4 times 2. And then here you're going to have 2 times 6 plus 4 times 1. Same for the bottom. I'm just quickly going to do it. 3 times negative 2 plus negative 1 times by 2, and 3 times 6 plus negative 1 times by 1. And if you work this out, you should get 4, 16, and negative 8, 17. And this is your final answer. Now it says P increases by 25%. An increase of 25% is 1.25, so you timesing by 1.25. A decrease by 40% is timesing by 0.6. P is 28 greater than Q. So P is going to be 1.25 times by 4x because it increases by 25%. So it's going to give us 5x, and Q is going to be 0.6 times by 7x. It's going to give us 4.2x. And it said that 5x is going to be equal to 4.2x plus 28 is going to give us 0.8x equals 28, and therefore x equals 35. So our answer is x equals 35 for this question over here. Okay, this question, it gives us an expansion and a simplification of this, and it says the coefficient of x squared is equal to the coefficient of x, and k is a constant. Well, expanding this out, you're going to have to times x bar to each one of these and negative 3 to each one of these to give you an answer of x cubed plus 5x squared minus 3x squared plus kx minus 15x minus 3 k. Well, this is 2x squared, and it says the coefficient of x squared is equal to the coefficient of x. The coefficient of x squared is 2, so you can have 2 equals. Now we have kx minus 15x, so what you're going to have to do is k minus 15 and times by x, and the coefficient of x is going to be k minus 15, so k minus 15, and you're going to add 15 both sides, so k is equal to 17, and that's your final answer. So here we have question 6. Now for this question, you're going to have to use the idea of x minus a squared plus y minus b squared equals r squared, okay? And in this case, center, so center, right, is a and b, and your radius is r. So for this question, you're going to have to plug in -1 and 2 for your a and b's. Now you do that, you're going to get x minus -1 and plus y minus 2 squared equals 5 squared should give you x plus 1 squared plus y minus 2 squared equals 25. So your answer is this. Okay, here we have another question. So for this question, you'd want to look at it yourself, but I'm just going to do this very fast. All you'd have to do is you'd have to draw two lines going like this, and now you can actually start working it out. This angle here is going to be 180 minus 2x, and this using the theorems is going to be 2 times by 180 minus 2x equals x plus 75. Okay, and expanding it out, you're going to get x equals 57. So your answer is 57 degrees. So this question here, really simple. 1 times by 4, you're going to get 4 minus square root of 5. 2 square root of 5 times by 4 is plus 8 square root of 5. Now 2 square root of 5 times by square root of 5. Square root of 5 times by square root of 5 is square root of 25, which is 5. And you're going to get 2 times by 5, which is negative 10. Now 4. So now 8 square root of 5 minus square root of 5 is 7 square root of 5, which then is taken away from 10, so you're going to get negative square root. So you're going to actually negative 6 plus, so this should be a plus 7 square root of 5, and that's your final answer. Okay, question 9. Really simple, it's just a function question. You're going to have to plug in 2x into the x, so you're going to have f of 2x is equal to 14 minus 2x squared. This becomes 14 minus 4x squared, and you're going to let that equal to 5. And once you let that equal to 5, you'd add 4x squared both sides, take away 5 to get 4x squared equals 9. So x squared equals 9 over 4. Square root both sides, x equals plus or minus 3 over 2, and that's your final answer. There you go. Question 10, really simple again. You have 1 over xy. You're going to times by y here, both sides. So the bottom is going to become y and the top is going to become 4y. So you have 4y minus 3 over y. You're going to cross multiply to get y equals x times by y, 4y minus 3. You can divide by y both sides to get 1 equals x times by 4y minus 3. You divide by 4y minus 3 both sides to get x equals 1 over 4y minus 3, and that's your answer. Question 11. Now, for this question, we're going to have to use a differentiation. So, negative 5 is the gradient here, and we're told that it's parallel, so this must also have some sort of gradient of negative 5. So you're going to have to do dy by dx of this. So dy by dx is going to be 4x plus 3, and since the gradient is negative 5 and it's parallel, that means 4x plus 3 is equal to negative 5. Minus 3 both sides, 4x equals negative 8, divide by 4, x equals negative 2. Now this is only the x coordinate, we're looking for the y coordinate as well because we're working at the coordinates of P. So you're going to plug negative 2 back in to this equation, equation. You're going to get 2 times by negative 2 squared plus 3 times by negative 2 minus 9, and that should give you an answer of negative 7. So your answer is negative 2 and negative 7 for this one. So this question 12, really simple again. You have a bottom here. This is coordinate 15, 0. So your x is going to be 15 here. And since you know that tan theta is equal to opposite divided by adjacent, your adjacent we already have here, it is 15. But here, we're told that tan theta equals 5 over 3. 3 has been multiplied by 5 to get to 15, so you're going to have to do the same to the top. You're going to have to multiply by 5 to get 25 over 15, so that means that your opposite must be 25. Now, you've got this, then that means this b must be 0, 25. And if that's 0, 25, now you want to work out the equation of the line BC. Now you know it's perpendicular because there's a right angle. So how will you work this out? Well, you'd find the equation for the line BA and then do the negative reciprocal to find the equation of line BC. And let's do that. The equation of line BA is going to be negative 25 over 15, which is negative 5 over 3, and that is your gradient. The gradient for the BC is going to be the negative reciprocal, which is going to be negative negative, going to become positive, so you get y equals 3 over 5x plus c. Now you know c is 25 because it crosses through at 0, 25, so it must be 25, so y equals 3 over 5x plus 25. Right, here we have another one, question 13. Really simple. You're going to divide by x both sides, so y equals 2 over x. Now since y equals 2 over x, you're going to plug this into this equation, so you're going to have 2 over x equals 3x plus 5 times by x both sides. You're going to get 2 equals x times by 3x plus 5 minus 2 both sides, 3x squared plus 5x minus 2 equals 0. Let's factorize this. Well, what can we do? We have 3x minus 1 and x plus 2. That can work. Going to let that equal to 0. So x can be 1 over 3 or x can be negative 2. Now if x is negative 2, you're going to have negative 2y equals 2. So y must be negative 1. Now if x is 1/3, so 3 times by 1/3 is 1. 1 plus 5 is 6. So y equals 6. And those are your answers. Okay, question 14. Also again, very simple. You're going to have square root of 3 plus the square root of 3 cubed. And this is because if you have 3 to the 1/2 and you cube that, this is just the same as saying square root of 3. So you put this at the front, you're still going to get the same answer as 3 to the power of 3 over 2. Okay. And since you have two of them, you can have square root of 3 plus square root of 3 cubed here again. Now square root of 3 times by square root of 3 times by square root of 3. This is just 3. This is just square root of 3. So you're going to have 3 root 3. So you're going to have root 3 plus root 3 root 3. And root 3 plus 3 root 3. This is just 4 root 3. And 4 root 3 here again. 4 times 4 is 16. Root 3 times by root 3 is 9. So it's going to be 3. So 16 times by 3 is going to be 48. So your answer for this is 48. Okay, this question here. Now, for this question, we're given a graph of y equals 3x minus x squared from values of negative 1 to 4, and you're given a equation to solve. Well, what you want to do is you want to put this here. You want a similar form, okay? So you want 3x minus x squared on one side of this equation. So let's start by taking away x squared from both sides. So negative 4x plus 2 equals negative x squared, and let's add 3 both sides. So you're going to let's add 3x, I meant both sides, so you're going to negative x plus 2 equals 3x minus x squared. Now we have y equals negative x plus 2 and y equals 3x minus x squared. Now these two must cross because they're equal to each other, so let's draw negative x here. So you have a negative gradient, so remember it must be going in the opposite direction, and it has a gradient of negative 1. So 1 1 here, 1 1 here, 1 1 somewhat like this, and it must cross like a little bit like that. Okay, that's not very accurate, unfortunately, it's not very accurate. It must go through a little bit points like here. If it must go through somewhere around here, so it is a bit below the actual accurate drawing, but you get the idea. So your answers are going to be 3.4, 3.4, because look here, crosses there, so 3.4 and 0. So it should be crossing there, and 0.6 for this. Okay, here we have another question, question 16. We're given the differentiated form x squared plus 2x minus 3, and we're asked to sketch the curve on the grid below. Now, it's a cubic curve, so it must turn 2 times and has a minimum stationary point, okay? So it says 0, 4. 0, 4 is somewhere there, has a negative gradient, so it goes like that. So this is 0, 4. And it says that y-coordinate of the minimum point is 2/3, right? 2/3 somewhere there. 2/3 going to be somewhere around there. So 2, 1/3 there. And then where says the y-coordinate of the maximum point is 13. 13 is going to be above, so it's going to be somewhere around there. Okay. Now, unfortunately, we don't know the x-coordinates. There's many different ways you could do this question, but let's do it the way it's meant to be done for this paper. So you're going to let x squared plus 2x minus 3 equal to 0, because these are stationary points. When it's stationary, dy by dx equals 0. So factorizing this out, you're going to get x plus 3 and x minus 1 equals 0. So your two coordinates are -3 and +1, and there you go. And now you just have to finish it by drawing it, so you're going to get like that, that. It should look something like that, of course, if you're doing it on paper. So question 17a and b. Use factor theorem to show that x minus 2 is a factor of x cubed plus 8x squared plus 5x minus 50. Well, yeah, if f of 2 equals 0, then x minus 2 is a factor. So you're going to plug into for this, so you're going to have 2 cubed plus 8 times by 2 squared plus 5 times by 2 minus 50, and you'll realize that is equal to 0, so there you've proved it. Okay, now you want to factorize this. Well, you're going to get something like x minus 2 and ax squared plus bx plus c. So it's going to be a quadratic here, okay? Now, x times by ax squared must give you x cubed, so obviously a must equal to 1. Now, -2 times by c must give you -50. Well, c must obviously equal 25. Now b, let's work this out. X minus 2 times by x squared plus bx plus 25. You're going to have 8 equals -2 plus b. Add 2 both sides, you're going to get b equals 10. So writing this out fully, x minus 2, x plus 5, and x plus 5. If you're wondering where the x plus 5 and the x plus 5 came from, that's just the quadratic now factorized again. So, because the question asks us to factorize fully, so we've got something like this. Okay, this question, question 18, is a circle question, and we're asked to prove that FD is parallel to RST. This is quite simple. All you have to do is you have you have two lines which are equal, so it must be an isosceles triangle. So you're gonna have x here, you get 180 minus 2x, because angles in a triangle add up to 180. Now notice that I'm not writing down these statements, but in the exam you should, because this is what gets you marks, and it's you're working out. Okay. Now this is also going to be 180 minus 2x because of the theorems. And this is therefore going to be x. And now this should add up to 180. If this adds up to 180, you need this to be x, right? Because this becomes 2x. And if this becomes a 2x, 180 minus 2x plus 2x just becomes 180. If this is x, then this also is x because they're alternate angles. And if this is x, then this also must be x. Again, like here, 2x, you're going to get 2x, 180 minus 2x plus 2x obviously gets you 2x again. And there you go. Now, you see we have alternate angles throughout. And that means that if you have angles which are equal to each other, and it's reversible, so you can FD has to be parallel to RST for all of this to be true, and it must be, true. You have to just write this in this form. So you have 2 times by x squared minus 8x plus 13. You're going to divide this by 2 to get yourself 2 times by x minus 4 squared. You square you take away the inside squared, so minus 16. And let me write that better, minus 16 and plus 13. Obviously, now you just expand this out normally. 2 times by x minus 4 squared minus 32 plus 13. You're going to get 2 times by x minus 4 squared minus 19. And that is your final answer. Okay, final question. We're almost there. Question 20. Now you can see that we have an angle here opposite, and we have an angle here opposite again, and we have lengths. So obviously you're gonna have to use the sine rule to work out what x is. So x over sine 45. If you remember how to use the sine rule, if not, go check out my other video. 6 square root of 2 over sine 60. Now you're just gonna work this out normally. You're gonna cross multiply, so you're gonna x sine 60 is equal to 6 root 2 times by sine 45. Now the values of sine 60 is x root 3 over 2 equals 6 root 2 times by root 2 over 2. X, we don't have space, let's just write this here. X root 3 equals 12. So x is equal to 12 root 3 over 3. So x is equal to 4 root 3. And that is your final answer. There you go. So there you have it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video.